Behind the diplomatic tensions in the South China Sea. An attempt by China in 2014 to drill oil in the Paracels, claimed by Vietnam, led to anti-China riots in Vietnam, in which several Chinese factories were vandalized. In the midst of the global coronavirus pandemic, China has been busy increasing its presence in the South China Sea. This time, the center of his acquisitive attention is the two disputed archipelagos of the Spratly Islands and the Paracel Islands, in the middle of the waters of the South China Sea, between the territory of Vietnam and the Philippines. Last week, Beijing unilaterally renamed 80 islands and other geographic features of the region, drawing criticism from neighboring countries, which have also claimed the same territory. Should the dispute worsen, Asia-Pacific researchers believe it could have serious consequences for diplomatic relations and stability in the region. South China Sea. South China Sea diplomatic tensions. South China Sea diplomatic tensions. South China Sea Islands. Express explained. Indian Express. An aerial view shows the island of Pagasa, Hope, part of the disputed Spratly group of islands, in the South China Sea off the west coast of the Philippines, on July 20, 2011. Reuters. Rolex de la Pina Pool. What is the dispute over the Spratly Islands? There is an ongoing territorial dispute between China, Taiwan, Vietnam, the Philippines and Malaysia regarding ownership of the Spratly Islands archipelago and nearby geographic features such as coral reefs, cays, etc. Since 1968, these nations have engaged in different types of military forces. Occupation of islands and surrounding waters, with the exception of Brunei, which has objected to the use of its maritime waters for commercial fishing. Although the Spratly Islands are largely uninhabited, it is possible that they have large reserves of untapped natural resources. However, due to the ongoing dispute, there have been few initiatives to explore the extent of these reserves, and therefore the amount of natural resources that the islands may have are based on speculation and extrapolation by studying the resources available in neighboring islands. In the 1970s, oil was discovered on neighboring islands, particularly off Palawan. This discovery intensified the land claims of these countries. Over the years, U.S. government agencies have claimed there is little or no oil and natural gas on these islands, but these reports have done little to reduce the territorial dispute. What is the dispute over the Paracel Islands about? The dispute over the Paracel Islands is slightly more complex. This archipelago is a collection of 130 islands and coral reefs and is located in the South China Sea, almost equidistant from China and Vietnam. Beijing claims that references to the Paracel Islands as part of the sovereign territory of China are found in the 14th century writings of the Song dynasty. Vietnam, on the other hand, says that historical texts from at least the 15th century show that the islands were part of its territory. These islands are also mentioned in documents dating from the 16th century by explorers who led expeditions to the east. The Portuguese, the British, the Dutch, the French and the Spanish have all written on the Paracel Islands in various texts. The Franco-Indochinese colonial powers have further accelerated tensions over the Paracel Islands due to their colonial policies in the 20th century. By 1954, tensions had increased dramatically between China and Vietnam over the archipelago. In January 1974, China and Vietnam disputed their territorial disputes, after which China took control of the islands. In reprisal, in 1982, Vietnam declared that it had extended its administrative powers over these islands. In 1999, Taiwan entered the fray by claiming the entire archipelago. Since 2012, China, Taiwan and Vietnam have attempted to strengthen their claims to the territory by engaging in the construction of government administrative buildings, tourism, land reclamation initiatives, and by establishing and developing a presence military on the archipelago. What was the most recent dispute? Following the recent creation of new administrative districts on Spratly and Paracel Islands, the Chinese Ministry of Natural Resources and the Ministry of Civil Affairs jointly announced that the Chinese government has named 80 islands, reefs and other geographic features around the two archipelagos of Chinese names. The last time China unilaterally embarked on a similar initiative was in 1983, when 287 geographic features were renamed in the disputed island chain. In recent years, China has intensified military aggression and created artificial islands for military and economic purposes in the South China Sea, attracting criticism from neighboring countries and other Western powers. A few weeks ago, Vietnam had filed a complaint with the UN that China had illegally sunk a fishing trawler near the Paracel Islands, killing 8 people on board. In March, China built 2 research stations in the territory claimed by the Philippines. After China renamed the islands, the United States sent an assault ship and a missile cruiser to the waters near Spratly and Paracel Islands, off the coast of Malaysia. Shortly after, the Chinese and Australian warships also entered the fray. After the arrival of American warships, regional observers expressed concern that the American presence could only worsen tensions. The United States has no land claims in the South China Sea, but is known to send its naval force to the waters whenever there are provocative developments in the waters, particularly the wrath of China.